Hey, how's it going? Checking in for today. I had a conversation today with one of the other keynote speakers for this big sales conference in April. And he actually presented at last year's sales conference for the same company. So he had a few insights into what the audience is likely to be like, and the sort of the format and the feel for the day. It's all very positive. Sounds like it's going to be a really good gig. And he ran through with me some of the things that he's going to be talking about. He's an actual sports psychologist. Steve Ball, his name is. And he's worked with some top Olympic performers. So he's kind of will be focusing on a lot of the mindset and motivation strategies that he uses in those situations when he's coaching these top performers. And it was really useful to hear him talk a little bit about his framework and how what he's going to be covering, because my piece, as I was kind of had it in my mind, which is based around the idea of complacency and the comfort zone, that seems to fit very well with it. But one of the things that he said, which was really interesting to me, because I told him a little bit about the story that I was going to kind of hang all of the key points off, which is this whole piece around the Frog Graham Round, which I'm currently training for. And last year when I attempted it, it didn't go to plan. So that's kind of the piece is around that, and not just about resilience, but complacency. And I think I said before in one of these videos, it wasn't just, the weather was the thing that stopped us in the end. It was dangerous up there in the mountains, but ultimately it did expose a few holes in my preparation as well. So there was definitely an element of complacency, and I described this story to him and some of the other things that I've done in the past with the 100 milers, the Ironman, the 10 back-to-back marathons and so on. And he was really, really positive in terms of how he thought that would be, how he thought that would go down. And I said to him, it's quite interesting to hear him say that, and very useful for me to hear him say that as well, because I always feel like I'm stuck between trying to get the balance between, or sort of not stuck, but trying to get the balance between telling and sharing stories about things that I've done, but at the same time making it relevant so that actually people can hear the messages from that. And I think I've definitely got a lot better at doing that, but I probably still tend towards not telling the stories as much, and certainly sometimes when I'm speaking, I don't even mention any of those things because it's not relevant. But I think it really is going to be relevant in this case. It's a half-hour talk, so the story will be a really good way of hooking into each of those key points that I want to make. And then we talked about what I would be basing the workshop on as well. And it was useful to hear him talk about how he's kind of touched on these things in the past, but he hasn't gone deep into them. Certainly he hasn't done it with any sort of personal story to back it up as well. So a really useful call, and give me a really good bit of direction or kind of clarity on the direction that I'm taking with this. As I said in yesterday's video, it's really, really important for me to do the very best that I can in these situations, in these speaking opportunities that I have, to make sure that I'm having the maximum amount of impact on the maximum number of people, but also the chances of getting rebooked and getting other work and building up that reputation as being a speaker who is reliable to get a message across and can do so in a sort of fairly light and relatable way. That's the thing. It's about being relatable, and I think I do that pretty well, just naturally and generally. And I run the risk of, well, I don't run the risk of it because I'm very conscious of it, but there is a risk if I'm not careful of moving away from that and trying to be something or somebody that I'm not. And I know how important it is to be as authentic as possible, but the challenge with that is that sometimes it does mean that I hold back where perhaps I could go a little bit more full on. Anyway, a useful call. Still nothing back from any of the other conversations that are going on. So Andy's away on holiday at the moment, so I'm not likely to hear anything back from the high performance stuff, but I could probably do with chasing up some of the other conversations that I've been having as well, and maybe even reigniting some of the ones that have seemingly died and haven't heard anything from for a while. So that's on the agenda for the next thing to do. Anyway, there's my check-in for the day. I will be back again with more tomorrow. Like the video, give it a YouTube thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and come back, check in again tomorrow for another daily update. Bye for now.